I'm D with KW Realty, and we're back for another monthly market update. This month, July 2024, we're going to take a look back through the first 2 quarters of this year, how it compares to the previous year. Last update I sent out, we were noticing a little bit of a slowdown here and there in the market. Boots on the ground last couple of weeks. The market's really been actually super competitive, very busy, almost as if we have a little bit of a late spring market into the summer here. You know, we're really done trying to predict the timing of the market because it's been so unpredictable the last few years. But I can tell you the market remains competitive, still seeing multiple offer situations, still seeing low inventory, and seeing a lot of buyers compete for a very small select few properties, both on the island and offshore on the mainland as well. A lot of news in the media right now. We're going to be digging into what's going to happen in an election year later in the year. We have some realtor rules and changes and laws changing in the state here. And I want to dig into the market stats so we can look at exactly what's happening both locally here as well as across all of the United States. So let's jump into the numbers right now and take a look. All right, so here we have a look at showings where buyers actually walking through the door to look at properties right now. And you can see that heading into the month, it dipped down a little bit, but we're seeing a nice pickup back into more showings here and right in line with what we've seen in previous years. So every time we kind of think this market's slowing down a little bit, you know, we look at showings and how many buyers are walking through the door, and it's right in line with the last few years, even though they may have been busier transaction count years. So really interesting. I wanted to look back at the last couple quarters, you know, the first half of this year compared to the last 2 years here, and you can see that inventory has ticked up just a little bit, very similar to last year, just slightly higher, and certainly a large increase from 2022. So there's a little bit more inventory or houses on the market. Now that's not necessarily due to more listings, because you can see that we're really close to last year again through the first half of the year as far as the number of new listings coming onto the market. But where we see a significant change compared to last year is the under contract. So the properties going under contract. So that's actually lower. And because of that, we are seeing a slight increase to inventory or the number of properties available on the market. And here's looking at the overall South Jersey Shore market, Atlantic and Cape May counties, going back to the beginning of 2023 and new listing counts, right? So pretty similar to this time last year, a little bit higher here. You know, June was almost identical to last year and following some of the national trends. Pending listings, you know, we didn't see as much of an increase this previous quarter here in 2024 as the rest of the national trend did. And we're certainly lower on pendings than we were this time last year. And inventory levels, again, as we saw before, have ticked up just a little bit. Normal for the seasonality, but again, higher than they were last year. Nothing significant, but certainly a little bit higher. And prices, again, I don't focus on this all that much to see if there's any significant trends. You know, prices are continuing to increase. You know, we look at median price, there was a dip there a couple months ago in the spring, but you can see things are right back to all-time highs again. So nationally, this is a home price forecast. So just about every leading expert is predicting that prices will appreciate in 2024. And I think that's pretty clear at this point, halfway through the year. And I think we'll see the same thing close to home here, maybe 4 or 5% or so in appreciation this year. So another healthy real estate market. So I like this quote. You know, one thing that's pretty solid is that home prices are going to continue to go up. And the reason why is housing inventory. So if you've been watching my videos, you hear every month I talk about inventory. How many properties are for sale? How many are going under contract? And we remain in a seller's market as far as inventory levels. And here's a look at exactly that. The neutral market's about 6 months of inventory. We're hovering around 3 months. So still a seller's market. Now here's a look at 30-year mortgage interest rates. We saw a little bit of a decline recently. Depending when you're watching this video, they may have ticked back up a little bit, hanging around 7%, give or take. That will continue to adjust. A lot of people are asking if rates will go down later in the year. You know, if you remember the beginning of the year, we thought there was going to be a significant decline. Experts are still predicting that there will be a decline in rates, but not a significant decline in rates. But it looks like in September, it's very possible we may see a Fed rate decrease. Just another look here at where mortgage rates are projected to go. So this is what that looks like in September. A lot of experts are predicting that there's going to be a small reserve or federal rate cut, you know, probably 1/4 point or so. We will see. Last I checked, it's about 60% likely that happens. And if it does, we'll probably see a marginal decline in mortgage interest rates that follow sometime around then. Now, we're in election year. We're heading into election time as things really start to heat up. And, you know, a lot of people get concerned about that with the real estate market. So we look back historically, and
ordinarily, there is not any immediate impact on the real estate market due to an election. So I would caution you against hitting pause on any real estate plans just due to an election, because it's unlikely that anything is going to change immediately thereafter. In fact, this is exactly what it looks like for home sales every election year going back to 1980. And in 9 of the 11, home sales went up. And here's a similar graph for home prices. And going back to 1992, 7 of the last 8 presidential elections, home prices actually went up immediately thereafter, the year following the election. And one more consequence of an election year is what's going to happen to mortgage interest rates. Well, more often than not, interest rates actually went down. The last 8 out of 11 elections, rates went down a bit. And last thing I want to point out, August 17th is a big date for some big real estate changes and national changes and state laws here in New Jersey, and the biggest of which is going to affect buyers. If you're a buyer and you're shopping for homes and you're working with a real estate agent, starting August 17th, you're going to have to sign a representation agreement with your real estate agent before stepping through and looking at houses, or before stepping through the door. It's a big change for our market. A lot of buyers are used to calling an agent on short notice, going and looking at houses, and that may not be the case any longer. You're going to have a consult, go over your needs and goals, and go over compensation for the agent and who does what and duties and that type of thing. And it's a much longer explanation in this video, but know that this change is coming up very soon. In fact, it's probably going to happen before the next video that comes out here as far as market updates go. So please be aware of this. If you're a buyer, things are about to change, and you will need to sign an agreement, a representation agreement with your agent before or on August 17th.
So there you have it. That's a look at the overall real estate market, both locally here as well as across the entire United States. I hope you found this helpful. If you could please hit the subscribe button. That way you are alerted of all things real estate here at the South Jersey Shore. I can personally help you anywhere from Brigantine to Cape May, all the barrier islands of Cape May and Atlantic counties, and the immediate offshore primary markets as well. And if you need help anywhere else in the country or the world, I have expert realtors in those areas as well that I can connect you with. Keep an eye for the next video. We see a lot of changes coming up in August, particularly for you buyers. You're going to have to be signing an agreement if you're working with a real estate agent before you step foot in a house and looking at homes for sale. So there's going to be a big change. I know you'll hear more from me about that over the next coming month, but you can feel free to reach out anytime. I'd be happy to discuss further. Thanks again for watching.